Dear Africa Discoverers, we are the group members of Botswana, and during this video presentation, we will cover the following aspects: Botswana in numbers, political stability, foreign investors, business etiquette, being successful in Botswana, European companies doing business in Botswana, laws and regulations. And without further ado, let's start with general facts and numbers of Botswana. Botswana has a population of more than 2.6 million citizens and is located in southern Africa. Its capital city is Gaborone, and it holds a population of 246,000 citizens in 2022. Country's population is growing at an annual rate of 1.10%, which in the near future will provide large working labor. However, the growth looks great, but the country faces high unemployment, especially in the youth sector, where unemployment between ages of 15 to 25 reaches 45.5%. Botswana has a stable economy, with the real GDP being $19.72 billion as of 2023, and has an annual growth rate of 4%. Largest contributors to the GDP are mining, tourism, farming, and agriculture. The country of Botswana has a lot of precious minerals. Diamond mining is the largest contributor to the economy and accounts of 25% of its GDP. Other mined minerals are following: copper, nickel, coal, gold, silver, soda ash, granite, also uranium and zinc reserves that investors are looking to exploit. Botswana is also home to multiple ethnic groups, with no single group dominating the country. And in total, there are 12 major ethnic groups and 3 distinct settler groups. Each of these ethnic groups enjoy cultural independence. They share close interrelations, with some groups influencing others, which is process known as assimilation. And the official languages in Botswana are English and Setswana. Now I will give word to Benedict, who will explain in detail the following aspects: political stability and openness for foreign investors.
Yeah, for political stability, I made bullet points about the key aspects of the political stability. Yeah, it's a stable multi-party democracy. Botswana is a relatively a young democracy that has been spared from political instability, and it recently had a change of government. And it had a peaceful transition. The transition of political leaders went very, very smooth, and it got a strong institutions. It has an independent judiciary, vibrant civil society, and freedom of media, and low corruption. As one of the lowest corrupt countries in Africa, Botswana has a clean government with no acts of vice, and also rule of law and rights, human rights, and civil liberties, especially, are said to be well protected. Political inclusiveness. The political system is open, the number of women gaining political positions increases, and no civil unrest. The country has kept off conflict, hence adding to economic stability. Peaceful foreign relations. The relations with neighboring countries are friendly, and the country is actively involved in diplomacy of the region. Now we go to the next slide. And yeah, Botswana is open for foreign investors. Yeah, it's got attractive investment climate. Botswana is known for its stable political environment, strong rule of law, and low corruption, making it an appealing destination for foreign investments, like the Antwerp Diamond Center. Its diversified economy, while traditionally depend on mining, especially diamonds, Botswana is working to diversify its economy, attracting foreign investments in sectors like agriculture, manufacturing, tourism, and technology, and investments and incentives. The government offers various incentives to foreign investors, including tax breaks, duty exemptions, and access to special economic zones to promote investment in key sectors. And the ease of doing business is very high. Botswana ranks high in sub-Saharan African for ease of doing business, with straightforward procedures for registering businesses and profits and securing property rights. And of course, the diamond industry. Botswana is one of the world's largest producer of diamonds, and the sector continues to attract significant foreign investments, with major companies like De Beers operating in the country. And the public-private partnerships. The government encourages partnerships with private investors, particularly in infrastructure, energy, and other development projects, and gives financial services hub. Botswana's financial sector is well developed and offers a wide range of services, from banking to insurance, attracting regional and international financial institutions. Let's go from regional trade agreements. As a member of the Southern African Development Community, in short SADC, and the African Continental Free Trade Area, Botswana provides access to regional and continental markets for foreign investors. And Botswana got a stable currency and low inflation. Botswana's currency, the pula, is stable and the country has low inflation, contributing to a favorable environment for long-term foreign investments. And last, the human capital development. The country invests in education and skills development, ensuring a relatively skilled workforce to meet the needs of foreign businesses. Now we go to the next slides.
So I'm going to be talking about the business etiquettes, and there are a lot of business etiquettes in Botswana. I'm going to be starting with the greetings in Botswana. Botswana, greeting people is a way of showing decency and respect. Not greeting in Botswana is considered as a lack of respect, and in their language it's called boto. If you do not greet people, you're unlikely to have any assistance you need or to seal the business which you went to Botswana for. For example, if you want to say hello to anyone, you can just say Dumilang. And yeah, other greetings in Botswana. I'm going to go to the next one, which is gratitude and politeness. Expressing gratitude and using polite languages are important aspects of cultural etiquette in Botswana. Saying thank you and please frequently shows appreciation for the hospitality and kindness you've shown to them. The third one is directness. Botswana leans towards indirect communication. Direct confrontation is usually seen as you being disrespectful. Building trust and rapport is essential before venturing into frank discussions. They value consensus and strive for win-win situations. And the fourth one is formality. They generally use formal Setswana or English. The dress code leans towards conservative professionalism. Men typically wear suits and ties, while women opt for skirts and dress pants with blouses. And also, lastly, the non-verbal cues. Non-verbal cues are like the facial expressions, the posture, gestures, and those hold significant meanings. Silence often indicates that you're listening attentively rather than you being bored or you disagree with whatever discussion you're having with them. Direct eye contact can be seen as challenge, so you need to maintain a respectful gaze, but avoid staring at them. Avoid fidgeting or crossing your arms, which might be construed or show that you're disinterested. I'm going to be talking about the negotiating practices, what you should do about when you're negotiating with them in business. They prioritize long-term relationships over short-term gains. The negotiation style is collaborative, with the goal often being to reach a win-win solution through open discussion and consensus building. The next one is the strategies for negotiation. They often express different viewpoints indirectly to avoid confrontation, and you should be prepared for extended conversations because they like to talk. True preparation is key to successful negotiation. This includes researching market rates, understanding your best alternative to a negotiated agreement, in short, BATNA, and anticipating potential concessions. While having a clear objective, demonstrating willingness to adapt and find common ground is also important. The tips and tricks to succeed in Botswana: first, you have to do your homework. Preparation is essential before going into any sort of negotiation. Start by finding out as much as you can about the client on the other side of the table, not just the basics about what they do, but also important details like their current financial situation, their last performance, and how they are responding to current industry trends. The more you know about their position, the stronger you can make your own case. Research your own position as well. Be prepared to discuss the reasons your services are priced the way they are and the value you bring to the table. This way, you can justify your services and costs with hard facts and services. The next one, you should have a strategy and be flexible. While it is critical to walk into negotiation with a plan already in place, it is just as important to remain flexible during discussions. Remember to keep your main objective and goals at the top of your mind, but at the same time, know what you're willing to do to give up, know what you're willing to give up to make the deal. And the third one is you should aim for a win-win outcome. Negotiations are often thought as a win-lose situations in which one side gets what they want while the other eventually caves. However, the ideal outcome of any negotiation is one where both sides emerge happy and satisfied that they have reached a beneficial compromise. Listen carefully to the client's requests and try to accommodate them as much as possible without compromising your own needs. The fourth, you should think before acting. There is a lot to think about and keep straight during a negotiation, so keep in mind that relying on your first instinctive response probably isn't a good idea. Trusting your guts and making a quick decision based on emotions may lead to an agreement that you would regret later. Instead, take time to carefully deliberate and gather your thoughts before deciding or responding to a question, even if it's in the middle of a fast-paced conversation. Know when to say no. Not all negotiations end in an ideal compromise. Do not be afraid to walk away if the negotiation does not seem to be moving in a favorable direction. Just because you close the door on this deal does not mean you have shut yourself from all future possibilities. Accepting a deal is not beneficial to your business. It does more harm in the long run than walking away now. Ending negotiations on a friendly note, even if you're unable to reach an agreement, can leave the door wide open for future negotiations and a more favorable position the next time around. While negotiating is not the most glamorous part of running a small business, it can create a strong foundation for a good client relationship and help set your project for success. The more you negotiate, the more you will learn that tactics work best for you, and the more comfortable you'll be standing up for your requirements and finding an ideal compromise. Next slide.
Hello everyone. So I'm going to be talking about European companies in Botswana. So I put five of them: HB Antwerp, Bolore Logistics, AWDC, Televic, and ZS. So those European companies have all established a presence in Botswana, contributing to its economic growth and development. These companies operate across various sectors, from, for example, diamonds trading to technology solutions, showcasing Botswana's appeal as a stable and resource-rich market. So while entering the Botswanan market can take time due to regulatory processes, these businesses benefit from the country's strong governance, growing economy, and access to regional markets through AEDC. So for European firms, Botswana represents both a challenge and an opportunity for sustainable growth in Southern Africa. Next slide.
All right. So now we will talk about laws and regulations, since in every country, when you do business, you have to follow them. And we'll follow these 5 steps. And the first one is company registration, which of course means like when registering a business in Botswana, like it's a quite straightforward process, since there is the Companies and Intellectual Property Authority overseeing the entire process. But some companies can also register online via the OBRS platform, so it reduces all the times, the entire time process really in a big way. And then we're gonna move on and talk about the licensing and taxation, which of course it depends on the nature of the business. Like there are various licenses, and they might be required from local authorities. But of course, Botswana also offers a competitive tax regime, which comprehendes corporate tax rates at 22%, but it also has some special incentives for manufacturing and financial services sectors. And then we have the VTA rate, which is set at 14%. So this encourages the businesses to grow while also maintaining public services. Then we'll move on to the third point, which is employment regulations. So in Botswana, labor's laws are designed to, let's say, balance the employer needs with employee rights. And the Employment Act governs contracts, working conditions, and also dispute resolutions. And it's really crucial for every business to adhere to these regulations to maintain a fair and safe work environment. And talking about environment, we're gonna move on to the environmental and safety compliance. Like the Environmental Assessment Act mandates each business to conduct, environmental impact assessments for certain projects, and also they also have to make sure that the workplace safety is regulated by the Factories Act, which ensures the health and safety of workers, promoting also sustainable and ethical business operations. Then, fifth and last point is consumer and investment protection. In Botswana, prioritize the protection of consumers and investors. So both sides are really protected. And the Consumer Protection Act enforces fair trading practices, while the Botswana Investment and Trade Center, BITC, ensures that investor confidence is always, as always, let's say, a guide and also support to also give an incentive to future investments. So now, let's say, to conclude, in the past few months, we realized how Botswana offers a quite well-regulated and welcoming business environment. But of course, it's really important to follow these key regulations so businesses can thrive and also contribute to the nation economic prosperity. And yeah, so since Botswana has also a strong culture, diverse background with ethnicities, and it's also full of natural resources, we can definitely tell that it offers a lot of opportunities for both locals and foreign investors. Yes, and this is it from us. So thank you very much for your attention, and yeah, thank you very much for viewing.